Do that. You're a fake, lying rat.
Imagine the world's greatest mixed martial artist, a man who remains undefeated, a devout Muslim who upholds his values both inside and outside the octagon, and a hero to millions around the globe. Now imagine that this same man, Khabib Nurmagomedov, might have a darker side, one intertwined with powerful oligarchs, controversial political figures, and allegations of financial misconduct. Could the image of this revered champion be more complex than anyone imagined? Khabib Nurmagomedov is not just a fighter, he's an icon. With an unblemished record of 29 wins and 0 losses, Khabib's dominance in the UFC is unmatched. Yet behind this pristine image lies a web of connections and controversies that challenge the narrative of the pure-hearted champion. Today we dive deep into Khabib's life outside the ring, exploring his relationships with billionaires, alleged ties to human rights violators, and claims of financial impropriety. This is the untold story of Khabib Nurmagomedov. Let's start from the beginning. Khabib Nurmagomedov, the undefeated UFC champion, was always portrayed as a man of principle. He is a devout Muslim, a dedicated athlete, and a loving family man. But throughout his entire career, there was a powerful and controversial figure pulling the strings behind the scenes, a Russian oligarch named Untold. This man, with close ties to Vladimir Putin, wasn't just a fan, he was Khabib's financial backer. The same man is now sitting in a high-security Russian prison, sentenced to 19 years for embezzling a whopping $180 million of Russian state funds. So who exactly is Nurmagomedov, and why did he decide to invest in Khabib? Magomedov was once one of the wealthiest men in Russia, ranked 63rd on Forbes' list of richest Russian business people in 2017, with a net worth estimated at $1.2 billion. His wealth skyrocketed during a period when Vladimir Putin was temporarily stepping down as Russia's head of state due to term limits. During Putin's absence, Magomedov formed a close relationship with the stand-in president, Dmitry Medvedev. With Medvedev's help, Magomedov's company, the Suma Group, flourished. They specialized in Russian port logistics, engineering, construction, and telecommunications. Suddenly, this small trading house turned into a massive industrial conglomerate. But here's the twist: Magomedov's fortune was built on more than just savvy business deals. According to various sources, he ran a criminal organization through his company, bribing officials, and was even named on a list of individuals who allegedly supported Russia's invasion of Ukraine. This wasn't just a story of financial misconduct, this was a tale of power, influence, and politics at the highest levels. But what does all this have to do with Khabib Nurmagomedov? Quite a bit, as it turns out.
I hope it's okay. We pray for him, and we'll see what's gonna happen. We will see.
From early on in his career, Khabib was funded by Magomedov. When Khabib showed up to the gym driving a $130,000 Mercedes AMG GT, or was seen offering fellow fighter Tony Ferguson an extra $200,000 to take a fight, many wondered where this money was coming from. For a fighter whose UFC contract early on was reportedly $65,000 to show and another $65,000 to win, Khabib seemed to have an unusually lavish lifestyle for someone in his position. And then there's Eagles MMA, the gym that Khabib has often credited for his success. Many don't know this, but Eagles MMA was founded with Magomedov's money. In fact, Magomedov didn't just fund the gym, he funded Khabib's entire training regime, from high-cost training camps to medical procedures like a costly back surgery in Germany in 2017. When Khabib's friend totaled his AMG, he was soon spotted driving an even more expensive Ferrari California. Again, funded by Magomedov. Khabib was able to afford the best training, the best recovery, and the best support because he had Magomedov's deep pockets backing him up. So why did Magomedov, a man deeply entrenched in the Russian oligarchy, decide to back a fighter like Khabib? The answer lies in both political strategy and personal interest. Supporting local heroes, especially those who bring international recognition, can be a powerful political tool in Russia. It's a way to gain favor with the people, a means to an end. And for Magomedov, a man who already had a questionable reputation, backing a star like Khabib was likely a move to bolster his own image. But it was also a way to build influence in the burgeoning world of MMA, a sport that was rapidly gaining popularity in Russia and around the world. However, in 2018, things took a dramatic turn. Magomedov was arrested on charges of embezzling $180 million from the Russian government, including $35 million that was supposed to go towards the construction of a World Cup stadium in Kaliningrad. When news of Magomedov's arrest broke, Khabib made a surprising public plea during his post-fight speech at UFC 223, asking President Putin to release Magomedov. This wasn't just a fight for Khabib's mentor, this was a battle for his own future. Without Magomedov's support, Khabib's financial future suddenly seemed uncertain. And here's where it gets even murkier. Magomedov wasn't just a generous benefactor, he was a man entangled in a web of international intrigue and high-stakes power plays. After Putin returned to power in 2012, Magomedov's fortunes took a nosedive. His close relationship with the former president Dmitry Medvedev had kept him afloat, but with Putin back at the helm, Magomedov found himself on the outs. In a desperate bid to maintain his wealth, he began investing in foreign companies, including becoming the co-executive chairman of Virgin Hyperloop, One alongside Richard Branson, and investing heavily in companies like Uber and Uber China. For Putin, this was seen as a betrayal. Russian money, earned with state assistance, was being invested in foreign, even rival, economies. Putin wasn't having it. Oligarchs who had thrived under Medvedev were suddenly persona non grata. Many fled the country, others, like Magomedov, were imprisoned. It's reported that Magomedov even tried to flee to Florida under the pretense of a medical emergency, but was arrested before he could leave the country. In the world of Russian politics and business, allegiances can change in an instant. Magomedov's fall from grace wasn't just a result of his crimes, it was a result of a changing political landscape. For Khabib, this meant his main source of financial backing was gone overnight. With Magomedov behind bars, rumors began circulating that Khabib owed the Russian government over $3 million in unpaid taxes. It's even rumored that Khabib has gone so far as to change his citizenship to the UAE to avoid paying these taxes, essentially fleeing Russia to avoid his financial obligations. But wait, there's more. The connections between Khabib and the shadowy figures of the Russian elite don't end with Magomedov. Enter Ramzan Kadyrov, the head of the Chechen Republic, a man accused of war crimes, human rights abuses, and the persecution of LGBTQ individuals in Chechnya. Kadyrov is another figure who looms large in the world of MMA, often using the sport as a way to promote his regime. While Khabib has not been as closely associated with Kadyrov as some other fighters, he has been seen with him on multiple occasions. For many fighters, especially those from the region, refusing an invitation from Kadyrov is not an option. It's a matter of survival, both personal and financial. To say no to a man like Kadyrov could mean more than just losing a fight, it could mean losing everything. Fighters like Khabib are often caught in a web of power they can't easily escape from. Khabib's connections to these figures have led to questions about his own integrity. How does a man who portrays himself as a paragon of virtue reconcile his relationships with figures like Magomedov and Kadyrov? For some fans, this is a betrayal. For others, it's a necessary evil, a way to survive and thrive in a world where power is everything. Then, there was that infamous press conference leading up to UFC 229. Conor McGregor, never one to shy away from controversy, took direct aim at Khabib's connections, accusing him of being a little lick-ass rat who took money from Magomedov, a criminal and a thief. McGregor didn't stop there. He also went after Khabib's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, accusing him of being a former FBI informant and a terrorist sympathizer. Ali Abdelaziz, for those who don't know, has a checkered past of his own. Imprisoned in Colorado in 2002 on charges of document forgery, Ali reportedly became a confidential informant for the NYPD and the FBI, allegedly infiltrating a group known as Muslims of America. This relationship with law enforcement led to accusations that Ali was more than just a manager, he was a man with a dark past and questionable loyalties. McGregor's taunts weren't just about hyping a fight, they were about exposing a different side of Khabib. A side that wasn't about honor or faith, but about survival in a corrupt and dangerous world. McGregor called out Khabib for his alleged financial woes, saying that he had bills to pay, and that he was nothing more than a scurrying rat trying to avoid his debts to the Russian government. It was a brutal and personal attack, one that cut deep into the myth of Khabib as a warrior monk. So where does this leave Khabib? Is he a hero who did what he had to do to succeed? Or is he just another pawn in a much larger, much darker game? The truth is likely somewhere in between. Khabib's connections to figures like Magomedov and Kadyrov show that even the most righteous fighters can have a dark side. They show that in the world of MMA, just like in politics, nothing is ever black and white. Allegations of tax evasion. Khabib's success in the octagon translated into substantial financial gains. His high-profile fights, especially against Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier, earned him millions. Combined with endorsements from major brands, Khabib's earnings skyrocketed, making him one of the wealthiest athletes in Russia. Fact: Khabib earned an estimated $6 million for his 2018 fight against McGregor alone, with pay-per-view bonuses and sponsorships adding millions more to his income. The tax evasion allegations in 2020, Russian media began reporting on allegations that Khabib may have been involved in tax evasion schemes. Reports suggested that Khabib underreported his income or used offshore accounts to minimize his tax obligations. While no formal charges were ever filed, the allegations cast a shadow over his reputation, particularly given his public persona as a devout and principled figure. Khabib has never directly addressed these allegations, and without official charges, it's unclear how much truth there is to them. However, given the scrutiny that comes with being a public figure, any hint of financial impropriety could have serious ramifications for Khabib's reputation, especially in the eyes of his global fan base. As the story unfolds, one thing is clear: Khabib's legacy is more complicated than many would like to believe. Without Nurmagomedov's financial backing, would Khabib have been able to rise to the heights he reached? Would he have been able to afford the training camps, the medical procedures, and the lifestyle that allowed him to focus solely on fighting? Khabib's story is far from over, and as more details come to light about his connections and his finances, we may find out that the real Khabib is very different from the one we thought we knew. Whether he's a hero or a villain, one thing is certain: Khabib Nurmagomedov is a fighter, both inside and outside the octagon. And in the world of Russian power and politics, that might be the biggest fight of all. As fans, we're left to wonder, how much do we really know about our heroes? And how far are they willing to go to become legends?